Hey, 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 how are we all doing? Welcome back to another day on stream. Let me just put some background music on for us. There we go. Hope you're all good. Thank you for joining. Just let me do a little something on here. How you all doing? Get your comments in, get your likes in. And yeah, we will kick it off by looking at Bitcoin in a second, which has had a nice rally, hasn't it? Over the past hour or two. Back up above $105,000. Let me just turn that up. Sean, how we doing? Great to see you, mate. As always, Nick, my boy, how we doing? Save, nice tune. It is a nice tune, mate. It was made by a legend, yeah. Smash the likes up, says Cryptogenic. Yes, do listen to Cryptogenic. Make sure you drop a like on the stream, whether you're watching on YouTube or over on X. Make sure you do drop a like. Arup says, will Bitcoin go to all-time high? It's a bit of an open-ended question, that really, isn't it? I mean, it depends on a few factors. It's got some key levels to regain first. Fury friends, how we doing? That is a lovely-looking dog. Very nice-looking dog. We going down. Not at the moment, but if we zoom out to a higher time frame, we potentially are. Yes, we potentially are, unless we reclaim some key levels to the upside. So we'll take a look at that. Afternoon, Gonksy, how we doing? I do want to take a look at something else as well, which personally I've not looked at in quite a while, but I think it'll be interesting to cover on stream, and maybe it's something that you guys have never looked at before as well. So before we do go any further, make sure you take a second, drop a like. Come on, scroll down, hit the like button. It only takes 2 seconds. Do that. Make sure you are subbed as well. If you're watching over on X, make sure you follow the Stonksy X page if you come from TMG's feed, and hop over to the YouTube. You will find it in the Stonksy bio. And subscribe. Get us over that 2.1k line, because I think we are right on the edge for that. All-time high coin, says Arab. But yeah, keep the engagement coming in the chat. It's great to hear from you guys. And yeah, we will carry on. But until then, we will be going over... we'll go over Bitcoin, we'll go over this thing that I've just been talking about, and then obviously if you want me to cover anything specific, get it in the chat and we'll take a look. But yeah, we've been on stream a slight bit later today because I had an appointment, but there's not really much going on in the market, is there? So it's not the end of the world. But given we are a bit later, I will get the poll up right now before we do anything else. Right, let's get that going. There's that. So, right, so that is started. We're on 19 viewers and 7 likes. Do some work. Come on, people. Let's do some work. Scroll down. Hit the like button. Let's get the likes going. And obviously, cast your vote in the chat for whether you think we are going up or down on US Open today. Yesterday, we went down, didn't we? I think. But if we zoom out to the wider scale... I mean, Bitcoin is literally around the same levels as it has been all week. So, yeah, we're not getting anything major. Now, if we look on the 4-hour time frame, you can see we've got quite an interesting... I think maybe this would potentially be drawn better as more so of a box. Because of where the wicks have come into in and where we rejected off from here earlier in the week, I think that is kind of more better off as a zone than a singular line, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's what we'll have. But yeah, we've got this definite zone of SR here. So on the high time frame, for those of you looking at, are we going, when will we go back towards all-time high, or, looking at higher levels? This is, for me anyway, definitely a zone of huge importance that price needs to regain and then fire back up towards the previous all-time high, which is the next level of KSR, in my opinion, as well. And then obviously we're on to all-time high then. So yeah, nothing. It's not too much. Yeah, it's not really that much for Bitcoin. And to the downside, I think this area here, anywhere in this box, would be a potential place for price to visit. And then if not, we're probably coming down here, aren't we? I would imagine, down towards there, if we break through that box, would make sense. And again, not the end of the world. It would just be a correction. But yeah, let me know in the chat what you think. What are your thoughts? And Stonksy has been trading beautifully on the 1-minute chart today, catching some real nice moves. Howdy, Steve-O. How we doing? Great to see you. Great to see you. But yeah, get your likes in, guys. Get your subscribes in if you are new to the channel. If you are, welcome to Stonksy. And for the rest of you, please do get your comments in and your votes, and then we'll be moving on and looking at something in a second. But yeah. Yeah, we've got just over 45 minutes to go until US Open. So let's go. So the thing I want to look at is a thing called BVol. So I don't know if anyone has ever looked at this before or not. If you have, let me know in the chat. Hang on. Let me remove all these drawings. They were from a long, long time ago. So what is the BVol? BVol is the Bitcoin Volatility Index. So it measures volatility and records it down. Now, as you can see, the higher that Bitcoin has gone, the less volatile it has been. You know, all throughout these years, you know, Bitcoin would swing a lot more than it does now, and a lot more than it has done, you know, since obviously we fell off here down in 2022. We've had much more of a steady approach, haven't we? The volatility has been a lot less. Now, what you can note is we've touched it here. So particularly, you know, in these periods here and then all along here, we have bottomed out on the BVol, and this is where volatility is kicked in. So if you've never looked at this before, it's not a tradable asset, so you can't trade this. It's not something that you can go and trade on perps or buy or whatever. It is just a little bit like the VIX. You know, obviously the VIX on measuring S&P volatility index here, kind of a bit like that, but for Bitcoin. So we have approached a lot lower, obviously, over the past few years, but as you can see, volatility has really fell off over the past month as we have been consolidating. So what does this suggest? Well, it suggests that obviously if Bitcoin keeps going sideways, we could see volatility dry up a little bit more as we continue to consolidate. But as we get to the bottom, we could see a spike in volatility. Now, whether that's to the upside or the downside, we obviously don't know yet. But particularly looking at recent data, you know, as soon as we come into kind of this sub 10 mark on the BVol, then that is prime for looking for a reaction in volatility, whether that be to the upside or the downside. But this just shows you just the difference in Bitcoin between now and you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. The volatility was a lot more high, a lot more volatile swings and reactions in the price compared to now. And you can see that in the charts. You know, we get these deep, long consolidations, don't we, with a short time of trend and then back to consolidating. Now, it does look like we are pushing up again on Bitcoin, if that is correct. A little bit. Yeah, so nearly back at 105,500. So we are pushing up very nicely. Arab says, will Bitcoin go down from... Well, that wouldn't be going down, would it? That would be going up. Bitcoin can't go down from that figure to that figure. It would be going up. I'm more of a... I mean, I'm guessing you're looking at the low time frame. So you're looking at some sort of supply zone. Let's see. So you're looking in here, aren't you? I imagine you're looking in here. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely see, you know, that could definitely cap momentum for sure. It has the potential to. Stonksy says, any thoughts on Sol? I forgot I had a long order set at 152, so now I'm in a Sol long. Nice. Well, what's happened to Sol on this pump? Oh, well, it's not the worst thing in the world, is it, mate? You know, you've got a pretty good entry there when it comes to low time frame. We're up at nearly 154, so you are in from roughly around the bottom of the candle closes, aren't you? Since we pushed back to the downside. So that, you know, not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, you could even set your stop loss at break even if you don't particularly want to be in it and just see what happens. But I mean, yeah, I suppose it's always not the best when that happens, is it? Because it could go really, really wrong. But in this case, it's gone well for you, mate. So congrats. Another day says, I reckon 106,200 then down would be a nice liquidity grab. How many months before a Bitcoin supply crunch? I don't know. I don't know. I don't personally. I don't think we will see a Bitcoin supply crunch. Not to the effect of suddenly, like, we see it really starting to have a heavy effect on the price. I think that is coming probably over the next kind of what would it be? So we've got a year. Definitely over the next 2 halvings for sure. But I don't know whether like a supply crunch would be the main catalyst for a pump up. Maybe, potentially. I don't tend to look at on-chain data too much in that aspect, so I don't know what the chart's looking like for Bitcoin available on exchanges. But we could definitely take a look at that, mate. So it's definitely worth looking at. Thank you. Let me know your thoughts anyway, Another Dave. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that is a possibility? I mean, Sol, yeah, obviously, just needs to hold this area, doesn't it? So this was the area I initially outlined for price to bounce. So what we can do is we could just get rid of that now, and obviously we can just throw in this here. So obviously where price come down, found support, consolidated, and then bang, there's the move. So then we tested it for support here, testing it again. So definitely this is the key area now. So, I mean, as it stands, mate, you're all right. Unless, obviously, it starts breaking below here, then we start to then having to look to the left, where I think, we could be looking in this area here. That was clear SR, weren't it? Resistance, support, bang. So we could be looking down towards like 140-ish, maybe like 141, 142 if we break from here. So, yeah, I think that's definitely a reasonable outlook. Should we fail here, but at the moment it's not, and it's looking like it's pushing up. Even we got a potential background shift on Stonksy. So we've been red on Stonksy since 155. So potentially got a little background shift coming. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, any more suggestions? Right, let's move on. And we'll have a look to see if Disco says goal is 117 for Bitcoin. Not bad target, mate. I think that lines up with one of the fib levels, I think, doesn't it? Or if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure that's a fib level. Anyway. So yeah, let's go and see what's happening over in stocks pre-market. Have we had much movement on the S&P? I don't think we have we? We've not had much movement pre-market in a while. I mean, Amazon's looking like the biggest movement there, and that's only a couple dollars. Tesla is down $10, so that's a bit of movement. Google's up a little bit, and the Mag 7 ETF has not really moved. So yeah, not massive movement, but there is definitely, Amazon, Tesla, and Google are the main ones that have moved pre-market. And Tesla, if you notice, we looked at this yesterday. Obviously, this has been support for a couple of weeks in May. And we drew this box. And we said we didn't want to break below the box. And we've broke below the box. And it's looking like, obviously, on the last couple of hourly candles that come in, is that this kind of what was a demand area potentially is shifted. Well, definitely shifted into resistance now because we have plummeted. So I think from here, I mean, unless it sees demand come in from where the origin of this second rally came from, then we could maybe be visiting a nice big round number of $300. Whack that on there. So let's see. But yeah, we are down to 323. And Bitcoin is on it again. Oh, look at that. Wow. We're having a jolly old time on Bitcoin, aren't we? Look at it go. What indicator do you use? It's called Stonksy, my friend. So what you see on the screen at the moment is Stonksy. So what is Stonksy? Well, it's an indicator made up of several different working parts. We have the background color change, which show long and short opportunities in the market on all time frames, on all assets. It's also got these channels, which you see, which have been absolutely spectacular. I mean, I know I tweeted something out before that SMFC had put into the Discord. Here. So SMFC had put that. I mean, this is just an example, obviously, but on this. So what was this? I think this is the 6 minute. You can see, obviously, how price reacts around the channels. Price spends most of its time in the inner channel, but then when we interact with the inner channel to the upside or the downside, you can see into the upside channel sell-off, upside channel sell-off, downside channel pump back up, come into the upside of this, in the upper side now. And then when it comes into the outer channels, that's when you look for exhaustion in momentum. You also get automated SR lines, Drew, for you. We have this oscillator, and then we do have a Discord server, and we actually have trading bots on BLOFIN. So we run 2 trading bots on BLOFIN currently. And this is all part of the package for users. So if you do want to take advantage of this, and anyone else watching, you can get 20% off. Here it is. So 20% off your first month with code BOT20. So it's the second link in the description. If you are watching over on X, you can find it at stonksy.io, or it is in the bio on X. And you want this monthly package here. This is the one you want. So you want to put code BOT20 into the checkout box to take 20% off. And then, yeah, you get access to everything with 20% off your first month. So do make sure you take advantage of that. And Arab, it'd be great to see you over there, mate. The ECB cuts rates by 25 basis points to 2%. Ah, very nice. Okay. Is that why we've been getting a little pump on? Ben Hughes says Fartcoin, please. We can look at Fartcoin next year because I believe it's back below $1, isn't it? Just grab a quick drink and then we will continue on. Right. Onwards, right. Fartcoin, let's have a look at Fartcoin. If you haven't already, please do drop a big like on the stream. We are at 29 viewers and 12 likes. So there is plenty of you that haven't dropped the like yet. So scroll down, take a second to drop a like. It is massively appreciated. Now, farty. 93. So if you notice, let's zoom out a little bit. So this has been obviously the region of interest that I've been looking at. Now, we've got clear SR here, haven't we? You know, you've got clear resistance, breakthrough, support, and then break. You know, we've now cut through. So even though we've cut through, I think this is definitely a point of where we want to watch out for either a rejection and then start to tail off, or if it reclaims into here, particularly, you know, we would want to see it ideally reclaim like late 90s, maybe even $1 if you like going for the round numbers. Then this obviously then just becomes a kind of fake out move or a liquidation grab, and then we are obviously back within the SR. Now we could definitely make this a bit smaller, that's for sure. which I think would benefit us. So if we make that a bit smaller, it's definitely more clear to see. However, if we do reject and fall off, then we are down to potentially the next zone of interest, which could be down here. So this is something that we covered on stream earlier this week for these possibilities. And we're now entering the first possibility. So the next one could be into here, and then we could bounce from there. Or if we break below there, then coming back into here. So let's watch what happens. If we reclaim here, then yeah, it could be a case of, okay, well, you know, there's kind of the liquidation grab. We've liquidated here. Trap some shorts and maybe do something like that. But until then, we'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for Fartcoin now. In terms of what Stonksy is looking at on Fartcoin, we've not got anything on the hour, but look how well it traded it down from the initial drop-off. Down from 141 down to just below 110. What a trade. Have we been getting anything on? So we are actually in the green on the 5-minute, which is a positive sign. Now, what we'd like to see is obviously that double confirmation come in with the confirmation arrow. Got nothing on the 6-minute. So I'm keen to see what Stonksy does here. If we get that confirmation arrow, then it could get quite juicy. But until then, yeah, I'm watching this zone and to see if Stonksy goes green on any of the key time frames. Can you please check on Keyboard Cat? Keyboard Cat. What on earth is that? What's the ticker? All right, KeyCat. It's on Coinbase. Blimey. All right, let's check. I mean, there's not a whole lot of data, is there? There's not a whole lot of data for us to go off. I mean, no, we've got clear resistance and supply here, haven't we? So this is the point of rejection, this area here, unless obviously it just liquidates higher and just blasts through. But, you know, particularly on the daily time frame, this is where we'd be looking, as you can see here. To the downside, let's take a look. I mean, we're coming in and close to retesting, obviously, the low of Friday the 30th, aren't we? Could maybe see, I mean, that was previous SR, wasn't it? So that's where the support is coming in from there, as you can see, drew on by Stonksy. If we break through there, then we'd probably come into look at the origin. But until then, I mean, yeah, it needs to hold this support level. You can see where Stonksy has got 4-hour support, drew here with the green line. This lines up with obviously looking across to see how price behaved previously. So yeah, lines up perfectly well. I mean, if you're looking at new highs, then yeah, you really need to break through obviously this zone. That's pretty much it. I mean, what a trade up by Stonksy there. Let's see if we've got anything on the 1 hour. Been trading it down nicely, traded it up nicely. Yeah, really nice. So yeah, SPX is back up 121, up 6% today. That is not too far away from its all-time high, is it? I don't think now. Not majorly, like, no. It's not majorly far away, which is pretty crazy. And that is the biggest movement, really, we've had. We've not really got anything else moving in terms of memes. Not that I've got on the list, anyway. Delta, how we doing, my man? Anyone else that's joined, please do drop a big like on the stream. And, of course, please do check out the links in the description. If you're looking for anywhere to trade, the best non-KYC exchange is BLOFIN. So do make sure you sign up. Crash. Not yet. No, not yet. I mean, we're just gonna look at the possibility of a crash. Doesn't mean that it's gonna happen. But we could easily flip back bullish, couldn't we? I think the line in the sand is here. So definitely, if we are bullish, we want to reclaim pretty much like 107, definitely. You know, we've got this clear region of SR here. So we want to reclaim 107 for sure. But while this, you know, is looking great and that, I still wouldn't rule out a potential wipeout to the downside. We've got a lot of build up now. We've still got these key higher lows on the 4-hour time frame to wipe out on this build up. 1, 2, 3. We've got here to wipe out potentially. So you can, it's a clear pivot point, and you know, there's definitely a very easy telltale sign to say market looks back bullish, market is consolidating, market looks bearish. Now, I don't think even a drop down to here will be bearish. That would be quite healthy, to be honest. It would be healthy for the market because we'd wipe out a ton of long leverage and we would get a good reset. And yeah, no doubt it would be maybe extremely bearish sentiment coming into here. But until then, maybe not, if we obviously go on to reclaim 107. Now, on the 1 hour, we have flipped green on Stonksy, which is a very good sign. And we are coming in to test this area here, which is not too far away, obviously, from the key upside test. So we'll see what happens with that. ECB has cut rates again. That's why, yeah, I believe so. Now, that has got potential potential cocktail for a reversal into US Open, hasn't it? Now, yesterday, what happened yesterday? I can't remember. Let's see, US Open yesterday. Oh, we sold off and then pumped back up, didn't we? So we sold off pre-market, sold off into the open, reached the bottom, and then pumped back up. Now, are we going to get the reversal today? So pump pre-market, maybe pump into the open and then sell off. It's been kind of working like that, hasn't it? Definitely this week, we've been getting opposite days. Wiz, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. 8.17 million shorts liquidated in the last hour. Yeah, I mean, the risk reward, even if you think it's go down, if you think it's going to go down, you know, we know that Bitcoin has ate the dips up very, very well since obviously the bottom came in. So you do have to be very mindful of that. Waiting for Fartcoin to hit 0.72. Let's see where that lines up with what I've been looking at. Oh, that stops. 0.72. Yeah, pretty much. I've got down here, so anywhere into this zone is where I'd be looking as the next area of interest. So ideally, obviously, if you're looking for downside, we want to reject at this SR region here, don't we? So we've dropped through, and now we're underside retesting this region. So obviously, if you want Fartcoin to go down like you do, Wiz, yeah, we want to reject from here. We don't want to kind of, we don't want to reclaim like 97 cents-ish. That would be, in my opinion anyway, looking like it wants to squeeze higher. So we want to now reject from here and start tailing off, yeah, down towards, like, I would say probably like anywhere from like 76 down to, yeah, 72. Looks like a place where it could front run a bounce for sure. Obviously, the lower it goes down here, it's closer to where you're wanting it. But yeah, we are getting a big blast on that ECB news. I'm currently resealing the bath, trying to stop losing my gains. What an interesting task, yeah. I mean, yeah, why not? What an interesting task. I am absolutely roasting today. I'm absolutely roasting. It's a good job I've got plenty of liquid with me to keep me hydrated. But yeah, are you still short, are you, BPN? I'm guessing. Let's see what we're doing. 32 viewers, 19 likes. That's good. That's good. Thank you very much for everyone. We can do a little bit better, though, so come on. If you haven't dropped a like, please do get your likes in. And let me know in the chat what you'd like to see. We will cover liquidation levels next. Let's look at liquidation levels. We'll look at where we could be looking for Bitcoin to be attracted to. Right. So, 24-hour liquidation heat map. We are going after the upside, aren't we? So, we are chewing into that hotspot to the upside, which ends just above 106. So, we're not that far away now. So, maybe that's what we're going in for. And then we do still have it to the downside. Now, on a 3-day time frame, interestingly, we've left, obviously, with this catalyst for a pump, we've left what looks to be the obviously the hotspot cluster to the downside, all the way down to 103.5k-ish. Now, on the 3-day, we don't actually have a clear hotspot yellow yet, but this area is obviously building up, and that is 107.5. So that would line up with obviously breaking back above that SR region that we've been covering. And finally, on the 2-week, we have the biggest hotspot above 110, and this has been like this obviously for the past week since. So it got heavily shorted around the 27th is when it started to get heavily shorted. 26th and 27th is what created this hotspot. Now, we do have a little bit of a downside cluster starting to kind of yellowish, but not into that deep hotspot yet. So we'll definitely keep an eye on them. But yeah, please do make sure, click the first link in the description, sign up to BLOFIN to get your non-KYC account. And of course, sign up to Stonksy. It is this fantastic indicator you're looking at on screen. And you do get access to everything on the monthly plan for 20% off your first month. Now, for those of you that haven't used it yet, it is the second link in the description, or you can come to stonksy.io. And it is this monthly plan that you want. And as it says on the top here and in the description, use code BOT20, BOT in capitals 20, at checkout on this monthly plan, taking it down to £116, and you do get access to the indicator, the oscillator, the Discord server, and the trading bots. So do take advantage of that. This guy's in Portugal. Lol. Who is? Who's in Portugal? Number 20. Yeah, I took some profits yesterday. Very nice, mate. Very nice. Well, have fun resealing the bath. Anyway, thank you for joining me as you resealing the bath. What's up with it? Did the silicon just go moldy as it does, or have you had a leak? Let me know. Now, can you look at Litecoin? Why specifically the Bitfinex chart? Why the Bitfinex chart? Why not just the Binance chart? It's an interesting request. Small leak. Steve says use proper silicon, not the crap stuff. Steve is a handyman for anyone that doesn't know, and he is a fantastic handyman as well. Really good. So yeah, listen to Steve. He knows what he's talking about. Longest history. Okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, I can do that, mate. Arab says, will BTC price cross grey box? I mean, we can only sit and watch, can't we? Can only sit and wait and see. If I knew the answer to that, then I would know exactly what to do. All we can do is sit and watch, or if you're already in a long or trying to short it, then do that. But personally, I'm following Stonksy and waiting for Stonksy. So yeah, it's good because the trading bots that we run on BLOFIN only trade Bitcoin currently. So yeah, even if you're not in a manual trade yourself, you can kind of just leave it to them and see if they fire off a trade. If you're not in a manual trade yourself using the indicator. So you want me to look at the Bitfinex one. Right. And with you saying the longest history, I'm guessing you want me to look at like high time frame. I'm guessing. I'm just looking at that explosion it had back in 2017 into 2018. All the way from a couple of dollars all the way up to 300. Now, one of the first things that's very visible on Litecoin is this long time frame of this channel of support. Now, whether you like trend lines or not, obviously it's up to you, but you know, you look at this and the first thing straight away came to my mind was that is obviously just rising support on the diagonal. And this is going back a long time. This is going back 7 years. So as you can see, as we've come into here, price has obviously just steadily been grinding over the years, finding bottoms in here. Now, we've obviously sold off pretty aggressively from, you know, where it was. If we go down to the daily time frame, you can see it had a pretty concrete trading range in here. So there was your resistance, there was your support, and yeah, the rest is history, kind of. You know, up, bang, 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 obviously riding support, and then bang, resistance, back down support, resistance, support, breakthrough. So if you note, most recently on April, we actually came in and tested this diagonal again, and obviously it held. So that's another test of the high time frame diagonal. Is there anything specific that you wanting me to cover on this chart, such as like a high time frame breakout or breakdown, or do you literally just want me to look at what's going on? Because I mean, to me, it's interesting because obviously we have got this diagonal coming in, and it is obviously not got really much room with the price now. But I am kind of sitting here wondering, like, how relevant is this area down here now? I would potentially get rid of that and focus on obviously range high resistance, what is still there, and then we have got a build up. You can see here, all along here is mass liquidations as the price is, you know, steadily sold off. It's just been building up a downwards trend and building up liquidity above all these wicks. So for me, I would probably be looking at, you know, this area here to see a reaction from. So if we push into here, obviously we either maybe liquidate and then sell off or just straight off reject. Or if we reclaim that, you can see Stonksy's got a resistance line drawn, obviously at the peak of here, going across. So we'd want to reclaim that, which would be simultaneous pretty much with reclaiming that box I've just drawn. And then you would want to then see a rally towards the range high again. So, yeah, I think from here, that's what I'd be looking at, you know, for some potential immediate moves. Now, we obviously do want to see something on Stonksy, so ideally we'd want that red daily background to go. And we'd want some kind of solid momentum push with a background color too, because if you zoom back down, you can see all the big moves occurred when the background has been running with it. So we would want to see like some proper, like, you know, here, that push up. You know, if we scale all the way back to these pushes up here, we'd want to see some proper effort and potentially even, you know, a bullish arrow coming in. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'd be looking at. If you're looking at, you know, super high time frame, saying, you know, when will Litecoin maybe create an all-time high? It definitely needs to break above that resistance there. And then I think, you know, the next kind of area that looks reasonable for it after there would be, you know, $200 or just above. And then go from there, really, because that would be, you know, another decent sized pump. What would that be? Yeah, that would be another 54% pump. So, and over a 2x from here. So that's what I'd be looking at. I think, yeah, one step at a time, but certainly on the daily time frame, there is things to watch for sure. So hope that helped. Afternoon, debut. How we doing? Arab says, how often do you come to live stream? So I stream Monday to Friday around this time. Normally I go live a little bit early, but I had an appointment today. And we cover the run up into US Open. So obviously any data releases that we get, you normally get them before US Open. So we get to cover them on stream, US Open, and then obviously after US Open. So typically it is 1 o'clock UK time, which is 12 o'clock UTC, if you want to convert that into whatever time frame you're in. Anyone who's watching that not in that time frame, obviously you can do a conversion into your local time. But if you are in that time, then yeah, 1 o'clock UK time, and then normally stream for around about 2 hours, maybe just over, maybe just below. And then I do stream on a Sunday night as well. So Saturday is the only day I don't stream. I stream Monday to Friday, long streams up to 2 hours. And then Sunday night is normally around half an hour, 45 minutes, just to review what we've had that week. And then obviously over the weekend. So yeah, do make sure you come back, and you can do that by hitting the subscribe button. So please do join. And of course, for those of you wanting to join, get your 20% off Stonksy. And I can see you in the Discord as well. So, you know, I can answer any more questions in there. Wise, he says, it just seems like it's poised. Yeah, I mean, it's not really had any, like, mega move, has it, in a while. So you could definitely see it getting a move at some point, mate, for sure. Yeah, no worries, mate. Anything for you. Good day, Brucey. How we doing, mate? Got 36 viewers on stream. That's great numbers. See what we're doing likewise. Yeah, nice. Come on, let's get those likes up a bit. There's 14 people watching that haven't liked. So get your likes in, guys. Come on. And girls, anyone who's watching. please do drop a like and obviously subscribe if you're new. Now, what was that? What was that? It says bullish on plumbing conversations. Must be. I know, yeah. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Right, what should we look at next? So Bitcoin is, yeah, maybe, is it falling off a little bit? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so maybe we're going to struggle here. I mean, I don't know. With it being a news pump, it leaves a bit of a sour taste in the mouth, doesn't it? Because typically, you know, news pumps just can't be trusted. Particularly before US Open, like, you wouldn't be surprised if we ran through and tested SR again, maybe even pushed up. But then again, like, would you be surprised if we dumped straight away on US Open and just reversed this whole pre-market pump? It's a real tough one. But Stonksy's got a great position there, so that would definitely be a risk-free trade if I was in that. But we've got 6 minutes to go until US Open. Hopped in and dropped a like. I need to take more days off, loving the streams. Yes, Fever, thank you very much, mate. Thank you, appreciate that. And yeah, you do, mate. You do. It'd be great to see some more of you. But yeah, anyone got anything else that they specifically want me to look at? Get it in the chat. Otherwise, we will sit and wait patiently for US Open to come around in 5 minutes. Anyone who can guess a drink what I'm drinking as well gets a special prize. Don't know what, but... Chef, we've just done a big section on LTC, mate. It's only about 5-10 minutes back. Chef, Iron Brew, no, not Iron Brew, no. Coconut water, nope. Lilt, no. I tell you what, these are all good guesses though. It's around that realm, apart from the coconut water. It's not coconut water, nor is it really anything to do with coconut water. But yeah, we have come into this potential sticking point for Bitcoin. So we'll see. From here, obviously, we could roll over. Or if we break above here, I think this grey box would be prime for testing next. So we will soon see, no doubt. The S&P got... Oh, look at that. Now, what's interesting on that is we have now, on that candle, this one, just come up and liquidated everything. So we've liquidated this high, these bunch of highs from Wednesday, and we have liquidated last week's high as well, with it coming up to 6,006, right into this key daily SR, and obviously into the big juicy round $6,000 number. So that's interesting because, yeah, we've now took out what looks to be all local liquidity more than likely. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from here because it's obviously not had a strong close on that hourly. Yeah, it makes you wonder. Obviously, Bitcoin could have done with that as well. It would have been beneficial for Bitcoin for the S&P to carry on. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. The BPN fella has got it. Maybe he's got a good memory and remembers what I said the other day. It is more often than not 7-Up Cherry or Dr. Pepper. Grape Kool-Aid. It's too American for me, that, Steve-O. Chef Crypto said Dr. Pepper. Normally, sometimes it is Dr. Pepper. Fanta, Kia Ora. I tell you what, there's some great drinks knocking about in the chat here. These are some. Oh, I can't remember the last time I had Tizer. Oh, where did he sell Tizer now? Oh, Tizer was a great drink. Tell you what I miss. As a kid, I used to drink my couple main drinks when I was out playing football and stuff with my mates as a kid was Lucasade Orange, the fizzy one, or Lucasade Sports. Oh man, I miss them. They were the drinks. They were the ones. Used to absolutely love them. Also, anyone in here? Has anyone just like got the urge to just have that feeling of match attacks? Does anyone collect match attacks years and years ago? So this would be, when would I have collected match attacks? A long time ago. But I used to love collecting match attacks. Any match attacks legends in the chat? They were the ones. I knew you were weirdo. What's up with 7-Up Cherry? ARN. Fresca. I don't know where my local Fresca is. Where would that be? Macallan 12-year sherry cask. Sounds like your drink, mate. Sounds like your preferred drink, that. Judging by what you're saying. It's nearly gone now, anyway. So yeah, good job. I've got some water with me. Right. So we are open. Let me close the poll and then we'll get the bell going. There we go. We are open. Now, what did the poll close as? So it was actually pretty evenly split, but Up won it with 57% of the vote. Ring the bell. I did, Patrick. Very demanding. Very demanding, but anything for you, Patrick. I don't know if I've seen you before in the chat, actually. If anyone else is lurking about in the shadows of the stream, come into the chat. It's a safe space. You can say anything you want within reason, as long as it's nothing nasty or rude. It's all right. But yeah, come and anyone lurking around. If you've got something really you want to say, or any sort of theory on the market, or any questions, pop them in. What I do want to hear from is anyone who's not a Stonksy user. So for anyone who has never tried Stonksy, but has obviously come to the streams or seen the videos or seen it about, then get your questions into the chat is what I would love to know. I'd love to know anyone who's not got Stonksy that is obviously watching the streams and stuff. Come and drop your questions into the chat and I can answer them for you live. Strongbow / Ribena were the days. Yeah. Tell you what. Do you know what I think is underrated? Underrated is like a fresh shandy. So, like, obviously it being from off tap, not like a can of shandy or something. But I tell you what, there's something to be said about having a shandy. Or, I believe places still do tops, don't they? Where you ask for like say like a Peroni top or a Stella top or something, where, you know, they just leave about an inch, don't they? And then put some lemonade in. But there's something really, I haven't had a shandy in years, but sometimes on a hot day, I think, it'd be nice to have a shandy on this day. A lager top, yeah. Large top, lager top, yeah. Crashed. Yeah, so we're doing what we thought, aren't we? Like, news pumps just can't be trusted, can they? They just can't be trusted, news pumps. I want to see you go into a pub and order a pint of shandy, lol. I don't drink them. I haven't had a shandy. I'll tell you the last time I had a shandy. I know when it was. The last time I had a shandy would be about 4 years ago. So a long time ago now. But there is something really refreshing about it now. If I was going to get a shandy, I'd do it really sneakily. It would have to be, I'd have to be in a Wetherspoons because you can obviously order on the app. So you just have to order on the app and then get them to bring it to your table. And then you don't, if there's a groupie, you don't actually have to say whose it is. Shandy, yeah. But only, it would have to be certain conditions. So like that, it would have to be a boiling, roasting day. And you just want to have something refreshing because, say if you're on a day session all day or whatever, sometimes you need something like just a little, like, if you need something to eat or whatever, just put the brakes on a little bit, and that would put the brakes on a little bit. Here's your shandy, sir. Way to shout, I know, yeah. Who's ordered the shandy? Who's ordered the shandy? 1 in every 5, yeah. Yeah, so I haven't had a shandy in about 4 years. And I remember exactly where I was when the last time I had a shandy from a pub. And that's what I mean. I can still remember the taste of it because it was so refreshing. Like, yeah, it's only a half pint in it, or 3/4 of a pint, or whatever it is, whatever the ratio is that they mix it. But there is something refreshing about it when you sat there in the sun and you're having a shandy. Anyway, let me know in the chat. What does everyone else think? Any shame? What's the shameful things that you get the itch to do? And don't say anything illegal, anyone, or nothing like that. But like anything like that where you kind of be like, I'd love to order a shandy, but you kind of like, I can't do that, not in public. Get them into the chat. Anyway, we are falling off on Bitcoin, aren't we? We came into this region here, which marked, was it yesterday's top? It was, yeah, yesterday's high. And we've came in, failed to keep momentum, and rejected off. Now we are selling off post US Open. So we'll see what happens from here on. Right. So, Save says, never had you down as a shandy. Well, bye, mate. I thought I was hard when I drank hooch. Oh, hooch, yeah. Hooch. What about Frosty Jacks? Does anyone remember Frosty Jacks? Oh. It's like the worst drink ever, that. Even though there's probably a lot of things that are probably worse tasting of it, just like the... no. Anyway, I digress. ETH. Still in here, isn't it? Weird, ETH. Really weird. Like, it's showing obviously minor strength against Bitcoin, but while we're pinned between here and here, this is obviously support, resistance. We've just created like kind of this this other little trading range, haven't we? In here. So like we've got resistance up here, support down here. Wow, we're stuck in this consolidation range, but kind of like there's resistance. There's your support. And yeah, like just consolidating, isn't it? Past few days, chop, chop, chop. Liquidated above, drop back below. Liquidated below some of it. But yeah, pinned in here, so nothing really much changed on ETH at all. It's literally been going sideways for 3 days. Special brew. Diamond white. What's that? What's that? I don't think I've ever heard of that. Diamond white. What's that, Debbie Master? What's diamond white? Kelstral super strength. Cost you, mate. Vile. Nasty, nasty stuff. That. Actually, I've been on alcohol-free beer only since September. Not sure what's worse. Yeah, you can't say anything, mate. You can't say anything. You may as well just drink juice. What's the point? You may as well just drink some juice. Get some cordial. Don't get me wrong. I have drank alcohol-free beer at points, but I always just think like, what's the point? Don't know. But yeah, you can't be saying anything. You can't be coming over here with that energy. And then turning around and saying that you've been drinking alcohol-free beer for nearly a year. Quitter. Diamond white is the taste of my childhood. What is it? What type of drink is it? What category does it fall into? I don't think I've ever heard of this. It's a white cider, 7.5%. Oh, hey, I tell you what. Have you ever had a Henry Weston's? Poor. That is some strong cider, that Henry Weston's. Wow, it blew my bloody brains off. That for the first time I had that. Is a cider. I've never heard of it. I've never heard of it. I'm not really a cider drinker, to be honest. I don't know why we're talking about beer. It's bloody Thursday. But yeah, there we go. Everyone will be like, everyone's gonna be sat there at home tonight, rubbing their hands together, knowing it's Friday tomorrow, going like, oh, I'm in the mood now. Sorry for getting everyone excited if you're going to have a little tipple over the weekend that it's only Thursday. Yeah, it's not. It can't even say it's a Friday stream, can we? And you know, kind of getting you all excited and in the mood for it. What have we got going on the watch list? Anything of note? Oh, Core Weave is selling off. Has this topped? Is this going to be a top for Core Weave? That's a whiz pick. That's another whiz pick. Strikes again, Embis. The vintage one is proper. It's the special brew of ciders. Debbie Mass says I'm off to the pub. Take me with you. Please, take me with you. I'm still a bit hanging from last night. We went out to see We Are Scientists. Oh, nice, Stonksy, nice. Yeah, have you had the day off work or something then? Very nice though, mate. Very nice. I mean, it's obviously not nice that you're hungover, but at least you had a good night, I'm guessing. Let's go and see what's going on over in stocks. Not a great deal going on, have we? Apple is pushing up. Amazon is up 1.26%. That's good. Oh, Tesla is getting smashed. Save. Don't tell me that you're not hanging on to this, are you? Did what? You ended up buying some, didn't you, yesterday? Did you get rid of it? It's a nasty drop off, that, isn't it? Down 14% from its local high. That $300 big round number looks like it's calling potentially, but I mean, if you look at it in terms of the actual chart, this kind of area looks like it makes sense, doesn't it? A bit lower. Obviously, we had resistance, 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 flip, support, bang. So maybe that makes more sense around the 296 to 290 region, maybe. I don't know. It's a difficult one, innit? I mean, notice on the outer band, on the 5 minute now, we're on the extremity of the outer band here, the outer channel, which is like a key warning sign. But I mean, look at Tesla just out on its own there, minus nearly 5%. I did buy some Tesla, sold half, might buy more lower. I mean, yeah, you can always average down, can't you, mate? You can always average down. Right, let's carry on with the stream. How's it going? What have I missed? Oh, mate, you missed loads today. We've spent a lot of the stream talking about alcoholic beverages, which would be right up your street. I don't even know how we got onto it, to be honest. I don't even know how we got onto it, but we just started just talking about alcoholic beverages. It started off, I think, with we mentioned. Oh yeah, I mentioned what I was drinking, obviously while I was streaming, a nice kind of 7-Up cherry, and then we just started somehow. I think it was because I mentioned that having a shandy. How nice it would be to have a shandy in the sun. Oh, look at that sell off on Bitcoin now. Yeah, standard, just trap for a news pump. Yeah, news pumps cannot be trusted, but yeah. So we've just been talking alcoholic beverages in the chat. I've learned what Diamond White is. Yeah, I haven't had a shandy in about 4 years, but I was saying, I remember the last time I had one. I think it was actually around about 4 years ago. I remember the last time I had one. It was in a beer garden and the sun was shining. And in them conditions where it's fresh out the tap, it was actually nice. I don't even know what made me think of it, to be honest. But yeah, and then we got on to the lovely discussion about Frosty Jacks, and yeah, I kindly learned what Diamond White is. I'm back. I don't know what happened then. I think I accidentally just threw myself out the stream. I think I don't know. I don't even know what I did then. I just accidentally threw myself out the stream, and that is one nasty sell-off on Bitcoin now from open. So standard, if you notice yesterday, look what we got yesterday. So yesterday, from 12 o'clock onwards, we started to dump into US Open. Then we got US Open, messed around a little bit, and then got the liquidation move, and then pushed back up then throughout the afternoon. Obviously, if you're in New York, the morning. Now today, just the opposite today. So we've pumped from 12 o'clock onwards. We've had US Open. We've had US Open and then just dumped. So just a complete reverse of yesterday. Yesterday we dumped into Open, dumped a bit more, and then pumped. And today we just pumped into the Open, opened, and then just dumped straight out the trap. So, yeah, but we did come into, obviously, yesterday's high, where supply came into the market, and that's where we fell off again today. So, yeah, that is a nasty, nasty sell-off on Bitcoin. And look at that, time to perfection on the 1 minute. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Absolutely bloody lovely. But yeah, if anyone does have any questions, get them into the chat. If you've got any, I'm keen to hear from people, and anyone who's on X, feel free to drop us a comment as well. I'd like to hear from you, whoever's watching over on X. But I'm really keen to get any questions from people who haven't yet tried Stonksy. What are the questions that you want answering, or what do you want to know for you to come and give it a go? I'm keen to know. So if you are watching in the shadows, now is your time to shine. Get your comments in, and I will answer anything for you live on stream. So yeah, get that done. If you're over on X as well, make sure you are following the Stonksy page and hop over to the YouTube channel and drop me a subscribe. And if you're not subscribed watching this on YouTube, make sure you are, because hopefully we're at 2.1k now. Yes, we are. Okay. Only another 400 to go, and then we're at 2.5k. But yeah, make sure you come and check out this. I put up another video yesterday. If you haven't watched this, tell you what, we could... Hello, and welcome back to it. Let's cover this. For those of you that don't know, this was put up. So, obviously, SMFC, the absolute wizard, kindly sent me over the statistics for the high frequency and the low frequency to make a video, just being open and transparent about the performance of them both. So this ran for 65 trades between mid to late December and the 30th of March. Returned a total P&L of plus 12.2%. Profitable trade 64.62. So that's the current one that's running on the high frequency bot. The low frequency bot returned 23.69% across 30 trades, with profitable trades being 60% of the time. So yeah, that video is on the channel as well if you want to go and have a watch of that. But yeah, Bitcoin continues to plummet and fall down. 3.64 million longs liquidated in 5 minutes. Crazy. People just keep chasing the moves, don't they? People keep chasing the moves. They'll have seen ECB interests decrease, but you know, they've not looked at where on the chart it could slow down. And we literally just slammed right into yesterday's high where supply came in and then fell off. Also, if you would have had Stonksy, you would have definitely timed that to perfection. So, yeah, just goes to show, doesn't it? It just goes to show. I wonder, I mean, it's timing obviously perfectly with the S&P falling off. Now, for those of you that joined recently, what's interesting about the S&P is that obviously on the previous hour when we got that pump up, hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, bless me. Yeah, on that previous hour when we got the pump up, we have now just come up and liquidated local upside liquidity. As you can see, this wick came all the way up to 6,006. So we've took out all this week's highs. We've also took out last week's highs. And we've dropped back down. So that looks like it is just a liquidity sweep there. So it's just swept upside liquidity. Obviously came deeper into that daily SR region and that big juicy round number and fell off. So yeah, it's nothing more than a liquidity sweep. And now we are heading down after consolidating since Tuesday. So not the greatest outlook on the S&P, to be honest, which could bring Bitcoin down with it, potentially. We obviously have key SR down here. So for whatever, if we did happen to just retrace all of this, then we would definitely, if you are looking for a bullish outcome, then you would want to most definitely see the S&P hold here. If we don't, then we drop back down to this being resistance. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. But yeah, that doesn't look the best because it now looks like it's just been a catalyst for a liquidity sweep. And obviously now prices took upside liquidity and now it's sourcing downside. Now it has obviously taken here. So what would you want to see on the S&P potentially to say it's not that bad? I think this has definitely the potential to be a point of downside liquidation. It just depends, obviously, if we close the hourly candle above this wick or not, which it looks like it might be trying to, so we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, I mean, look at Bitcoin. Wowzers. Steep drop. Yeah. Nothing amazing, is it? But yeah, if you are looking to trade anything, whether it be Bitcoin, alt, or you're looking for a good place to do everything on, to buy and sell your spots and keep stables on too, in the event you want to buy on a bloody day or whatever it may be, make sure you do sign up to BLOFIN. It is the first link in the description, and I will pop it in the chat now as well. It is non-KYC, so you just sign up with an email in under 60 seconds, and the interface is fantastic. So that is there. Do check it out. And of course, make sure you do take advantage of this 20% off Stonksy we are running. I think we might put an end to it soon. So if you do want to take advantage, now is your time to do that. Before we end it. And it might be a while before we put an offer on the monthly price again. So yeah, code BOT20 at checkout for 20% off your first month, and come and give it a go. But anything in particular anyone would like me to look at? I mean, the trouble is that we have been in a real lull now, haven't we? We've been in. It feels like it's been longer, but obviously we pushed up and then dropped down. Now we have only actually been in this sideways consolidation for about a week. It was last Friday when we got the drop down and then started to go sideways. It feels a lot longer. If we go and have a look at some alts, ETH. Oh, so ETH is actually potentially dropping to the downside now. Interesting. I mean, something you want to watch, we want to watch on ETH is if it maybe liquidates this wick here and then still closes back inside. But I mean, that is a nasty absorption. That's on the 2-hour time frame, so obviously not a time frame that is the most widely used or provide judgment. But yeah, we are breaking out of that range now on ETH. So alarm bells start ringing. Sol is breaking below. Stonksy, are you out of your trade, Stonksy, or are you still in? It's exactly what I mentioned on earlier this stream about Sol breaking this zone. If we break this zone, no good. We could accelerate down towards 140 potentially, unless Bitcoin turns things around. Everything is just basically riding on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin turns around, then I assume all these will keep the levels potentially. But if Bitcoin starts accelerating to the downside, yeah, we could find Sol with a little boop. BNB, don't look at that too much. Doge is, yet to break down. It's still hanging around its levels from last week, isn't it? But everything is kind of just sticking. There's nothing really too much to report on anything, is there? If you look at everything, we're still like around the same levels as this time last week. So we've got nothing really to analyze or look at, unless we look at, the low time frames, of course. So, yeah, once we get that, dupe is falling. Once we get some sort of movement on Bitcoin, no doubt alts should become very exciting. $101K by Friday. Tomorrow. We could see it, yeah. I think kind of that 100 to 102K region will be really key, in my opinion. I think 100 to 102K, you can use that as reason for a correction to sweep, flush long leverage, go and take out some downside positions, obviously sweep a lot of the build up as well from on the way up. And then you want to see it hold there. Otherwise, I think if we broke that zone, we could maybe start heading towards low 90s as the next area. But yeah, if anyone has got any questions or thoughts or whatever, pop them into the chat. I'm very ready for a drop. Yeah, it's gone a bit stale, hasn't it? It's gone a bit stale, like the inability to break the all-time high, and then we've dropped back below. It just feels very stale, doesn't it? Like we've not had expansion and we're just kind of just chopping around. Nope, I'm out. Closed half at 154. Move start. Oh, mate, you're a legend. Legend, Gonksy. Imagine a nasty wick to 99k, then up only. Take out everyone. Yeah, it could happen. If we go and look at the chart, this is obviously where am I in. So if we were to drop down, you would come and you would take all of this out. So we've got all this build up here now, haven't we? Particularly this wick, and this wick here. We would flush all that. So, any stops and liquidity below there would be wiped out. We'd then start targeting these three. So these are the three main areas I'd be looking at. Is this here, here, and here. Now, this is why I say 100 to 102, because, yeah, you've got all this in around that area. So, you could come for a full sweep and scare people, and then maybe kind of just like push back up and then chop around and then maybe start to grind up again. There's loads that we could probably draw 10 different scenarios for what might happen, and, maybe we still might not nail one. All we can do is wait to see, for confirmation of a breakdown, see what Stonksy is saying, and then obviously analyze from there on. But yeah, I don't think it would be unreasonable to put that there. And then from that point then, we've got a basically 10% pullback from all-time high. At that point, it's either okay, this is just a correction and we're going to, shoot back up. Or this maybe starts to become... And one thing, I'd love to know people's input on this. Get it into the chat. If I just turn Stonksy off for a second, I think, and Dean, what do you think on this? But I think this structure is it's looking so similar to 2021. It's unreal. I mean, you've literally got the full distribution range as your first high. You've then got a very fast drop. Fast drop, fast drop. You've then got your consolidation. You've then got a very fast and aggressive move up. And then more of a just topping out pattern instead of a distribution phase. Topping out, and then obviously this entered into a drawdown, into a downtrend then. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying that, the cycle's over and we're going into a downtrend. I'm just saying, the similarities are very, very close for me in what, they just look... They look so similar. It's actually kind of scary. Does anyone agree? And again, I'm not saying that we've topped out, and I'm not saying this is the end of the cycle. Just when you look at the two patterns, they're almost identical. Obviously, we're not going to get identical chart patterns. This isn't a bar replay. But you can see in the structure just how similar they are. I mean, this is forming now. Obviously, depending on where this weekly candle goes. A very similar toppy pattern on this, where we just got a fast run up. We didn't get distribution and it just went down as quick as it went up. It's eerily similar, in my opinion anyway. I believe that it's weirdly close in structure. Humans like patterns, though. Yeah, it's very, very, very similar in pattern. So I don't know. Again, not saying it's the same and we're going to get some sort of mega drawdown all the way down to 30k or whatever. But, structurally, it's very similar so far. Obviously, there's plenty that can happen to change that. But yeah, I mean, folks, one thing at a time. I think, we looked at this last week, didn't we? We looked at these downside areas last week. So just a game of patience to see if it comes through or not. If it does, we want to see liquidation and then hold. If we start to break down from there, then we've obviously got all this to fill in of this fast move. And then I think, anywhere kind of into in and around here should then signal for a bounce. Otherwise, it is in trouble. But so yeah, again, we'll deal with these things as and when they come, and we'll see obviously what Stonksy is showing us to evaluate that. But yeah, do make sure you come and join Stonksy. Second link in the description, or head over to stonksy.io and code BOT20 at checkout to join. Get access to the indicator, the oscillator, the Discord server, and the trading bots. Everything for 20% off your first month. And of course, we'll see what tomorrow brings. My portfolio reflects my belief in that. Fully in stables. 100% stables. But yeah, big thank you for joining today. I appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, we'll obviously be back tomorrow for Friday's big stream. And we will maybe talk more alcoholic beverages while it is Friday. Who knows? Bring me your favourite or worst drinks and we can have a good discussion on it. But yeah, thank you for joining, everyone. Have a great day and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.